What's happening, guys? It's Mike's Sword Dragon channel. Uh, it is late night tonight, about 12:30 here, and I should be in bed already, but for some reason I wanted to do Savage Dragon issues. Really feeling on a roll lately, so I figured I'd go with it, and I'll do these next two we got right here. 28 and 29. We've got two guest appearance issues. So let's go ahead and hop into them right now. Issue number 28, as we see right here, it's got the Max. He's somebody that if you are not very familiar with him, he was created by Sam Keith. He appeared in Max number 1, which is one of the second tier. He appeared in not second tier, but the second wave of Image books that were launched. And the Max was a very kind of surreal, abstract comic book. Basically you couldn't tell if he was a superhero, if he was some delusional homeless guy. He had these weird adventures. You couldn't tell if they were happening for real or if they were inside his mind or whatever. But it was a really weird one. I didn't read it particularly. I didn't read any of the issues, I believe. I think I have issue 1. And of course I had the infamous Max Half, which was a send-off that you could get back when half issues were really popular, and it took forever and a day to come finally. But he did a cartoon on MTV, so that's most of his, he did have some breakthrough success. But we'll go ahead and get this issue open and started. So, like I said, as always, Erik Larsen, creator, writer, penciler, inker extraordinaire. These issues here, this one and the next one, I don't want to call them filler issues because this important stuff happens, but they really kind of set the tone for one of the most infamous Savage Dragon moments. But so basically this opens up with, I believe it's Herodias. She's sitting at home. Her and Rapture have an apartment together, watching TV. Max knocks on the door. It's kind of a really weird conversation, and she basically invites him in to watch cartoons. And with last issue, Rapture had revealed to Dragon that she was pregnant. Well, first of all, she asked him to marry, and Dragon said no. And then she dropped the bomb on him that she was pregnant, and Dragon, in typical Dragon fashion, handles it the worst way possible. He goes, "Are you sure it's mine?" She throws him out. So he finds, wait a minute, if she throws Dragon out and he was living with her, then how does he find Max and Herodias? Did she just tell him to get out of her room? I guess maybe because he was living with Rapture. I guess she threw him out of. I guess she threw Dragon out of her room, but yet he's still in their apartment. But this makes the hallway. This makes it look like he's outside the apartment because it's so huge here. But anyway, I'm just kind of splitting hairs here, I guess. Now we have this scene right here. This sets up a really big event in the next two issues. We recognize this lady here. She is the one who Dragon was dating her daughter, and she got shot when someone came to Dragon's apartment to kill him. So her name's Debbie, and this is Debbie's mom. And Debbie's mom, in her grief, has allied herself with some sort of hate-filled demon. So she goes to see this wizard type guy, and she tells him right here, she says, I will sell my soul to you if I can send a guy to hell. So she's got bad plans for Dragon. So speaking of Dragon, we get back to Dragon, and somehow or another he's chased Max to somewhere. Like I said, all the stuff with Max is always really weird and very non. It's not a. It's kind of like what's the word I'm looking for here? Surreal. All the Max adventures are very surreal. You can't tell what's going on. It's a lot of really weird layouts and a lot of weird characters and animals or whatever. But basically here, Max and Dragon stumble across a giant rapture who is just shooting out kids. And they're on the run from the kids. So they climb this tower. And this is the girl who, her name's Debbie. She's the one who got shot in the head all those issues ago. And her mother's been on a warpath with Dragon ever since. So they have more crazy stuff happen to them. And like I said, this was, they're throwing fruit at these kids. So it's really weird stuff right here. Here's a cool pinup of him fighting Megaton. Or not Megaton, but I can't think of this guy's name right now. Vanguard? Is that right? So then, come to find out, they're not in some sort of really weird realm. They're up in a tree in some junkyard. So, like I said, this girl, she knows the Max. She comes to pick him up, and then they leave on the bus. And Dragon says, I've got to start drinking more. My life wouldn't make any more sense, but at least I'd have something to blame it on. So now things starting to get really good. Rapture she gets to the headquarters of Freak Force, and she sees Dragon right here with Nurse Stevens, and we know Rapture is insanely jealous about that type of thing. So then we cut to Brainiape is robbing this place, and then Powerhouse, the big chicken, comes in and says, Cyberface calls the shots now. You just can't do all these jobs just because you want to. We're back to being a cartel. Powerhouse knocks out Brainiape. The people thank him, and they say, is there anything we can do to repay you? And then Powerhouse says, next time you eat out, order the beef. So like I said, this issue is really, really weird. Dragon's crashing out in the police station. There's this videotape he finds. He plugs it in, and it shows what looks to be a rendezvous between Rapture and Peter Clapton, as we had seen this alluded to in a couple of issues back. So Dragon sees that, and he's kind of disgusted by it, and he kind of is thinking, maybe that's who the kid's father is, and it's not me. So that's really got to hurt him, even though he doesn't ever see anything. But the dialogue between the two makes it really seem like they're about to hook up. So that is the end of this issue. And we've got the big letters page. Next issue, Wildstar Be Here. More advertisement for the figures from Playmates. So now, issue number 29, Dragon, Wildstar. So for those of you who are not familiar with Wildstar, he is a soldier type guy from the future. And these soldiers, they wear like these symbiotes, which is what that giant star is. They wear these symbiotes on their chest, and it gives them like these abilities. It puts them basically like inside of a protective case, not case or whatever, because it's basically like a skin. It puts like this protective skin around them and gives them enhanced abilities, but the symbiote stays on them, you know, like just like a giant starfish or whatever. So this is the guy right here when he doesn't have the suit on. I don't remember exactly what his deal is. I know he was a soldier in the future and got sent back to the past somehow, and now he's kind of just stumbling around. Jerry Ordway and Al Gordon were the guys who worked on this book, Wildstar. This was an Image book, and so that's how this character, he had his own ongoing at one point, so that's how he ends up over here. But in any case, he runs into a bunch of the freaks that have been living underground and are homeless. You see he kind of activates it or whatever right here, and it turns him into this. So we're back at the police station. There's still a whole bunch of drama going on. Dragon's trying to deal with the pregnancy. Everyone's talking to him about it. Meanwhile, Horridus tells Rapture Dragon came by. He dropped off his VCR tape, which to Horridus's joy, she says, "Does this mean that now we're going to get a VCR?" This took place in 1996. Seemed really would seem kind of unusual that she didn't have a VCR at the time. You know, pretty much we all had VCRs at that point. But, you know, maybe Rapture is just a tightwad, doesn't want to spend a whole lot of money. So we got the police there on the scene of the heist, or not the heist, but the robbery that Brainiac was pulling, and the big chicken came by and broke it up. So this whole page right here is just a gag. You know, there was a giant chicken. I thought the chicken came before the monkey. That's what I wrote down. So it's basically a whole, like, who's on first, that type deal. That's not right. It's not right. The chicken was first. So let me get this straight. Which came first, the chicken or the ape? So this whole, like I've said, these past two issues are really wacky. Rapture just crashes into the police department. Nurse Stevens is there. Rapture punches her out because, you know, she doesn't have a really good temper. And this guy, he asks right here, "Whew, must be her time of the month." No, that's not it at all. So apparently Nurse Stevens knows why she got punched. And this guy right here saying it must be her time of the month. What a class act right there. So, Rapture got that off her chest, and now she tells Horridus they're going to the pawn shop and they're going to buy a cheap VCR. Meanwhile, we got all the guys. We got a Mexican standoff between the police. and all the freaks who have been living underground, who are homeless. Dragon recognizes Wildstar because Dragon guest appeared in one of the early issues of Wildstar. But this guy, he's real hothead, so he gets the fight started. And of course, this is the guy right here who's just all about the excessive violence to the freaks. So basically everyone's fighting each other. A lot of fighting. Another pin-up. Now, this right here, I just noticed this because I was reading this issue. I was thumbing through this issue before I made this video, and that really looks like Malcolm. So I am wondering, because Wildstar right here, he has like some sort of future flash where he sees or experiences being in the future, and he sees Dragon in this spacesuit, and he goes, "Oh my God!" And that looks really like Malcolm, who is Savage Dragon's son, and who is the lead character in the book currently right now. But all that is just thrown out the window because Debbie's mom crashes the scene. This is a badass panel. Just burns off Dragon's arms. Look at that. You can see him getting like obliterated and melted away. You can kind of see like a bone right there. So she's still swearing vengeance on Dragon. Dragon, you wouldn't shoot an unarmed man, would you? This sounds like something Bugs Bunny would say. She knocks him out, grabs him, leaves. Rapture and Heridius are sitting here watching the videotape with Peter Clapton. The freaks are kind of just left befuddled. They don't really know what to do or where to go or whatever. But outside of all of that, now we get to Debbie's mom has got the Dragon chained up, and she tells him, prepare to meet your maker, you son of a bitch. It's dying time. She's fed up with Dragon. They do the big incantation or whatever. He gets zapped right here. Fail safes are in this place in case this doesn't work out. Don't want you sneaking into heaven. Enough, let's do it. So he gets blasted with this big powerful thing. And they say he's dead. So basically Dragon has been killed and has been sent to hell, which is where our next issue is going to find him, because we see who the guest star for next issue is. Spawn. Advertisement for Ethan Van Sciver's Cyber Frog. I think I had that first miniseries. It was such a crazy looking character. But also Ethan Van Sciver went on to be incredibly famous with working with DC on Green Lantern Rebirth, bringing back Hal Jordan. So he actually managed to make a real big career for himself from the pages of Harris Comics with a ripoff of a Ninja Turtle. But that is issue number 29 of the Savage Dragon. Like I said, these past two issues here, really weird. Not a whole lot going on. Just kind of the big lead up to Dragon getting sent to hell and the storyline with him and Rapture. So, you had a lot of silliness with the Max, and you had the chicken and the egg type thing here. The whole who's on first skit. But, so that is these two issues tonight. And that's about 1 o'clock in the morning for me, so that's getting late. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Bye bye.